Next, we'll talk about actually arriving early to class. So when you're arriving to class, just like when a face-to-face class, you might arrive a little bit early. Make sure you get that good seat either in front. Some of you like to sit in the back. It's no different for online classes. You want to show up a little bit early, see who's there, see if your equipment works, and make sure you're in the right place. And it's actually more important that you do it earlier a lot in online learning, because there are these technical snags that happen when you hop into a class. You could test your equipment, make sure everything's working maybe the day before, and then when you go to hop in to an online course, you'll notice that all of a sudden your mic doesn't work, or the link is not working anymore. So you need a little extra time to give yourself for that unexpected technical difficulty many of the times. If you're there early, good etiquette is to pop up your camera, wave, say hello, maybe test your mic, see if you get a response. So that's a quick test to see if you're able to be heard, people can hear you. That's only if class hasn't started yet. And it also lets everybody know that you're there and you can be heard. Then you can shut off your camera or your mic. You can leave, maybe if you don't have bandwidth issues, you can maybe leave your camera on. But it's good practice to kind of turn your mic off and let the teacher speak, and only turn it on when it's needed. I know for my personal preference as a teacher, I like to see your faces. It's difficult to talk into a blank screen from time to time. So those are some of the things that you want to do when you first hop into a class. Right. Let's talk about how we're going to communicate together when we're in class. Just like when you're in a face-to-face class, you want to be an attentive listener. Whoever's talking, it might be the teacher, it might be some of your fellow students, some people in your group that you're having a discussion with. It's always respectful to give cues to the speaker that you are engaged in what they're saying, and then that you're paying attention and listening carefully. And how we do that face-to-face and online isn't so much different, but a little bit. What I mean by that is, because you're muted, you can't make a noise, audio noise to them, or say excuse me, or interrupt them, or cue in with some extra information as easily, because when we turn on our mics and start talking to add some information to whoever's speaking, there's a delay, half second to a second, and it's enough to have everybody, no, you go first, and then it's a little bit difficult to have a conversation so much if everyone's not in the discussion mode. So you want to use your camera a lot more, right? So when someone's speaking, you go like this a lot more, even more exaggerated than you would a face-to-face person. So to the camera, go, I agree with what you're saying, and oh, no, I don't like that. Or, oh, wait, oh, that's a great idea. Cheers for that. Oh, I have a question. I'm raising my hand, and that visual cue of you to that camera, giving those gesture signals, is a great way to have better communication in the class. If someone is speaking and they ask a yes or no question, can you hear me? Is everyone? That happens a lot in online classes. You want to go thumbs up, yeah, or yes, or no, I can't hear you. If someone hops on and they start speaking and they don't ask can you hear you, and you can't hear them, you want to go like, ears, can't hear you. And as a group, as class goes on, you'll start to learn a little bit more about what cues are best to use. Use that camera a little bit more, use your gestures a little bit more, and let your fellow students and teacher know that you're listening. Be an active listener. If you have a question and you want to speak up and you got your hand raised, and maybe someone doesn't see you, or you got your camera off, you're going to want to utilize the chat function in these teleconferencing tools. The chat function is usually some window off to the side or maybe down below that everybody's typing into, just like a instant messenger on Line or instant Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So the teachers can put in links. So if you have a question, put it in there first. Maybe a fellow student or someone else can see it and answer it for you. And then whoever's speaking should try to pay attention a little bit to the chat so they can respond to the queries or questions that are happening in class. Right? So that's some of the tools, the techniques that we can use in class to have better communication. First and foremost is we have to, just like in class, we have to respect each other and create an environment that we're feel confident and safe in sharing ideas. That's all about learning, right? We have to try out some new ideas, try out some new ways of speaking and communicating and working with others so we can actually get experience, find out what doesn't work for us, find out better ways of working with people so we can learn and get better, right? So we want to create a safe environment for all of us. So just like in class, you don't want to be taking pictures of everyone and then uploading them to the internet somewhere. The same thing is true on online classes. You don't want to be taking a lot of screenshots and pulling data or from your classes to be sharing online. You might want to do it from time to time for your own benefit, right? The teacher puts up some important information on the teleconference, take a screenshot for your own purposes, but especially if you don't have permission, don't be sharing any information, especially about your classmates and teachers, online anywhere. If your teacher wants to record the session, perhaps for a lot of students that are absent, you can ask the teacher if they'll be recording or what sections they'll be recording. So then if you don't want to be seen, others and you and other people have the ability to turn off your cameras or mics or whatever. That's just a good rule of thumb. Just be open and honest about what you want to use or what you want to do about sharing your information. But typically, don't share anything in class outside of class. There's strange things happening, right? In this computer world, things can get hacked. Strange people can enter these teleconferencing tools sometimes. You can hear glitches or some strange behavior. Maybe a student from a different class somehow got mixed up and now they're in your class. And you want to report that stuff to your teacher or raise your hand and say, hey, what's happening here with this, as soon as possible and early as possible. So if you see something strange or got some strange behavior, someone saying some rude things, mention it early and often. We have to respect each other, of course. So just like it would be face-to-face, be respectful of others' opinions, their way of thinking, and engage with people with positive attitudes and respect. And so a good rule of thumb of this is, can I share this or can I use this information, is if you're not sure about it or you're uneasy about it, like for example, you want to put a question into chat but you think it might be rude or offensive to some people, then send it as an instant message to your teacher so no one else can see that, and therefore the teacher can respond to your questions and they can help judge. It'd be a second person, a second opinion, whether that question might offend anybody or not, and they can maybe take a different approach to answering that question or breaching that topic with the rest of the class. Right. This has been Eric for Together Learning, telling you a little bit about online learning etiquette. I hope this was helpful. There's more information on the website about all things online learning and teaching. Hope to see you around. Bye-bye. See you next time.